Well, Netflix says they provide a personalized subscription service that allows our members to access entertainment content, Netflix content, over the internet on certain internet-connected TVs, computers, and other devices, Netflix-ready devices. The Netflix service is provided to you by Netflix International B.V. These terms of use govern your use of our service. As used in these terms of use, Netflix service, or our service, or the service, means the personalized service provided by Netflix for discovering and accessing Netflix content, including all features and functionalities, recommendations and reviews, our websites and user interfaces, as well as all content and software associated with our service. References to you in these terms of use indicate the member who created the Netflix account and whose payment method is charged. 1. Membership. 1.1. Your Netflix membership will continue until terminated. To use the Netflix service, you must have internet access and a Netflix-ready device and provide us with one or more payment methods. Payment method means a current, valid, accepted method of payment, as may be updated from time to time, and which may include payment through your account with a third party. Unless you cancel your membership before your billing date, you authorize us to charge the subscription fee for the next billing cycle to your payment method. See cancellation below. 1.2. We may offer a number of subscription plans, including subscriptions offered by third parties in conjunction with the provision of their own products and services. We are not responsible for the products and services provided by such third parties. Some subscription plans may have differing conditions and limitations, which will be disclosed at your sign-up or in other communications made available to you. You can find specific details regarding your Netflix subscription by visiting the Netflix.com website and clicking on the account link available at the top of the pages under your profile name. 2. Promotional offers. We may from time to time offer special promotional offers, such as sweepstakes, discounts, and other incentives, plans or memberships, offers. Offer eligibility is determined by Netflix at its sole discretion, and we reserve the right to revoke an offer and put your account on hold in the event that we determine you are not eligible. Members of households with an existing or recent Netflix membership may not be eligible for certain introductory offers. We may use information such as device ID, method of payment, or your contact information to determine offer eligibility. The eligibility requirements and other limitations and conditions will be disclosed when you sign up for the offer or in other communications made available to you. Now 3. Billing and cancellation. 3.1. Billing cycle. The subscription fee for the Netflix service and any other charges you may incur in connection with your use of the service, such as taxes and possible transaction fees, will be charged to your payment method on the specific payment date indicated on the account page. The length of your billing cycle will depend on the type of subscription plan that you choose when you signed up for the service. In some cases, your payment date may change. For example, if your payment method has not successfully settled when you change your subscription plan, or if your paid subscription began on a day not contained in a given month. Visit the Netflix.com website and click on the Account page to see your next payment date. We may authorize your payment method in anticipation of subscription or service-related charges through various methods, including authorizing it up to approximately 1 month of service as soon as you register. If you signed up for Netflix using your account with a third party as a payment method, you can find the billing information about your Netflix subscription by visiting your account with the applicable third party. 3.2. Payment methods. To use the Netflix service, you must provide one or more payment methods. You authorize us to charge any payment method associated to your account in case your primary payment method is declined or no longer available to us for payment of your subscription fee. You remain responsible for any uncollected amounts. If a payment is not successfully settled due to expiration, insufficient funds, or otherwise, and you do not cancel your account, we may suspend your access to the service until we have successfully charged a valid payment method. For some payment methods, the issuer may charge you certain fees, such as foreign transaction fees or other fees relating to the processing of your payment method. Local tax charges may vary depending on the payment method used. Check with your payment method service provider for details. Now this here part says updating your payment methods. You can update your payment methods by going to the account page. We may also update your payment method using information provided by the payment service providers. Following any update, you authorize us to continue to charge the applicable payment methods. 3.4. Cancellation. You can cancel your Netflix membership at any time, and you will continue to have access to the Netflix service through the end of your billing period. To the extent permitted by the applicable law, payments are non-refundable, and we do not provide refunds or credits for any partial membership periods or unused Netflix content. To cancel, go to the account page and follow the instructions for cancellation. If you cancel your membership, your account will automatically close at the end of your current billing period. On the account page, you can see when your account will close. If you signed up for Netflix using your account with a third party as a payment method and wish to cancel your Netflix membership, you may need to do so through such third party, for example by visiting your account with the applicable third party and turning off auto renew or unsubscribing from the Netflix service through that third party. 3.5. Changes to the price and subscription plans. We may change our subscription plans and the price of our service from time to time. We will notify you at least 1 month before any price changes or changes to your subscription plan will become effective. If you do not wish to accept the price change or change to your subscription plan, you can cancel your membership before the change takes effect. All right, this here part says 4. Netflix service. 4.1. You must be at least 18 years of age or the age of majority in your province, territory, or country to become a member of the Netflix service. Minors may only use the service under the supervision of an adult. All right, 4.2 says the Netflix service and any content accessed through the service are for your personal and non-commercial use only and may not be shared with individuals beyond your household unless otherwise allowed by your subscription plan. During your Netflix membership, we grant you a limited, non-exclusive, non-transferable right to access the Netflix service and Netflix content. Except for the foregoing, no right, title, or interest shall be transferred to you. You agree not to use the service for public performances. 4.3 says
You may access the Netflix content primarily within the country in which you have established your account, and only in geographic locations where we offer our service and have licensed such content. The content that may be available will vary by geographic location and will change from time to time. The number of devices on which you may simultaneously watch depends on your chosen subscription plan and is specified on the account page. 4.4 says the Netflix service, including the Netflix content, is regularly updated. Therefore, we do not guarantee that particular content will be available on the Netflix service at any given time. We may give you the opportunity to watch live or special events, including replays of such content, or to enjoy new additional features. Such content and new features may contain commercial breaks and other types of commercial messages and advertisement formats. Advertisements. Our service may also contain limited commercial content, such as branded content or sponsorship messaging, promos for Netflix content, or information about other Netflix goods or services. Netflix does not endorse or sponsor any advertised products or services, and any interactions with advertisers, including through engagement with interactive advertisements, are at your own option and risk. In addition, we continually test various aspects of our service, including our websites, user interfaces, and promotional features. You can turn off test participation at any time by visiting the account page and changing the test participation settings. 4.5 says some Netflix content is available for temporary download and offline viewing on certain supported devices, offline titles. Limitations apply, including restrictions on the number of offline titles per account, the maximum number of devices that can contain offline titles, the time period within which you will need to begin viewing offline titles, and how long the offline titles will be accessible. Some offline titles may not be playable in certain countries, and if you go online in a country where you would not be able to stream that offline title, the offline title will not be playable while you're in that country.
Now, this here part says, you agree to use Netflix service, including all features and functionalities associated therewith, in accordance with all applicable laws, rules, and regulations, or other restrictions on use of the service or content therein, except as explicitly authorized by us. You agree not to. I reckon what they mean is, you won't archive, reproduce, distribute, modify, display, perform, publish, license, create derivative works from, offer for sale, or use content and information contained on or obtained from or through the Netflix service. You won't circumvent, remove, alter, deactivate, degrade, block, obscure, or thwart any of the content protections or other elements of the Netflix service, including the graphical user interface, any advertising or advertising features, copyright notices, and trademarks. You won't use any robot, spider, scraper, or other automated means to access the Netflix service. You won't decompile, reverse engineer, or disassemble any software or other products or processes accessible through the Netflix service. You won't insert any code or product or manipulate the content of the Netflix service in any way. You won't use any data mining, data gathering, or extraction method. You won't upload, post, email, or otherwise send or transmit any material designed to interrupt, destroy, or limit the functionality of any computer software or hardware or telecommunications equipment associated with the Netflix service, including any software viruses or any other computer code, files, or programs. Or you won't engage in any of the foregoing in connection with the use, creation, development, modification, prompting, fine-tuning, testing, benchmarking, or validation of any machine learning tool, model, system, algorithm, product, or other technology. We may terminate or restrict your use of our service if you violate these terms of use or are engaged in illegal or fraudulent use of the service.
Now, this here part says the quality of the display of the Netflix content may vary from device to device and may be affected by a variety of factors, such as your location, the bandwidth available through and/or speed of your internet connection, HD, Ultra HD, and HDR availability is subject to your internet service and device capabilities. Spatial audio quality is subject to your device capabilities. Not all content is available in spatial audio or in all formats such as HD, Ultra HD, or HDR, and not all subscription plans allow you to receive content in all formats. The minimum connection speed for HD video quality, defined as a resolution of 720p or higher, is 3.0 Mbps per stream. However, we recommend a faster connection for improved video quality. A connection speed of at least 5.0 Mbps per stream is recommended to receive full HD video quality, defined as a resolution of 1080p or higher. A connection speed of at least 15.0 Mbps per stream is recommended to receive Ultra HD video quality, defined as a resolution of 4K or higher. You are responsible for all internet access charges. Please check with your internet provider for information on possible internet data usage charges. The time it takes to begin watching Netflix content will vary based on a number of factors, including your location, available bandwidth at the time, the content you have selected, and the configuration of your Netflix-ready device. Now, this here part says Netflix software is developed by or for Netflix and may solely be used for authorized streaming and to access Netflix content through Netflix-ready devices. This software may vary by device and medium, and functionalities and features may also differ between devices. You acknowledge that the use of the service may require third-party software that is subject to third-party licenses. You agree that you may automatically receive updated versions of the Netflix software and related third-party software. Number 5, passwords and account access. You are responsible for any activity that occurs through the Netflix account. By allowing others to access the account, which includes access to information on viewing activity for the account, you agree that such individuals are acting on your behalf and that you are bound by any changes that they may make to the account, including but not limited to changes to the subscription plan. To help maintain control over the account and to prevent any unauthorized users from accessing the service, you should maintain control over the devices that are used to access the service and not reveal the password or details of the payment method associated with the account to anyone. You agree to provide and maintain accurate information relating to your account, including valid contact information, so we can send you account-related notices. We can terminate your account or place your account on hold in order to protect you, Netflix, or our partners from identity theft or other fraudulent activity. Number 6, warranties and limitations on liability. The Netflix service is provided as is and without warranty or condition. In particular, our service may not be uninterrupted or error-free. You waive all special, indirect, and consequential damages against us. These terms will not limit any non-waivable warranties or consumer protection rights that you may be entitled to under the mandatory laws of your country of residence. Number 7, class action waiver. Where permitted under the applicable law, you and Netflix agree that each may bring claims against the other only in your or its individual capacity, and not as a plaintiff or class member in any purported class or representative proceeding. Further, where permitted under the applicable law, unless both you and Netflix agree otherwise, the court may not consolidate more than one person's claims with your claims and may not otherwise preside over any form of a representative or class proceeding.
Now, this here part says miscellaneous. 8.1, governing law. These terms of use shall be governed by and construed in accordance with the laws of the Netherlands. These terms will not limit any consumer protection rights that you may be entitled to under the mandatory laws of your country of residence. 8.2, unsolicited materials. Netflix does not accept unsolicited ideas for Netflix content and is not responsible for any of its similarity of its content or programming in any media to materials transmitted to Netflix. 8.3, customer support. To find more information about our service and its features, or if you need assistance with your account, please visit the Netflix Help Center, which is accessible through the Netflix.com website. In certain instances, customer service may best be able to assist you by using a remote access support tool, through which we have full access to your computer. If you do not want us to have this access, you should not consent to support through the remote access tool, and we will assist you through other means. In the event of any conflict between these terms of use and information provided by customer service or other portions of our websites, these terms of use will control. 8-point service. If any provision or provisions of these terms of use shall be held to be invalid, illegal, or unenforceable, the validity, legality, and enforceability of the remaining provisions shall remain in full force in effect. 8.5, changes to terms of use and assignment. Netflix may, from time to time, change these terms of use. In case of material changes, we will notify you at least 1 month before such changes apply to you. If you do not wish to accept the changes, you can cancel your membership before they take effect. We may assign or transfer our agreement with you, including our associated rights and obligations at any time, and you agree to cooperate with us in connection with such an assignment or transfer. 8.6, events beyond our reasonable control.
The Netflix service and/or some of the Netflix content may not be available for streaming or downloading at any time as a result of events beyond our reasonable control, including but not limited to power or server outages, acts or failures of any kind by third parties such as network providers, war, riots, strikes, or social unrest, and/or any other events or factors beyond our reasonable control. While we will make reasonable efforts to notify you, to the extent permitted by applicable law, we will not be held liable should such events occur. 8.7. Electronic communications. We will send you information relating to your account, including payment authorizations, invoices, changes in password or payment method, confirmation messages, notices in electronic form only. Last updated April 17th, 2025.
Now this here part says Netflix brand assets terms and conditions. By downloading or otherwise receiving from Netflix any Netflix trademarks, logos, trade names, service marks, service names, or other distinctive features owned by Netflix, any Netflix brand assets, via the Netflix brand site located at brand.netflix.com or other Netflix website, or otherwise from Netflix, you, in parentheses you, agreed to be bound by the following terms and conditions. These terms. In the event of any conflict between these terms and any applicable written agreement between you and Netflix, the written agreement shall prevail. Interesting stuff.
Your rights to use Netflix brand assets. Netflix grants you a limited, non-exclusive, revocable, non-sub-licensable, and non-transferable license to display the Netflix brand assets in accordance with these terms. All use by you of the Netflix brand assets, including any goodwill associated wherewith, shall inure to the benefit of Netflix. You agree that you shall not challenge or assist others to challenge the Netflix brand assets or the registration or ownership thereof by Netflix, except to the extent such restriction is prohibited by applicable law, or attempt to register any Netflix brand assets or other names, logos, marks, or materials, including domain names, that are confusingly similar in any way, including but not limited to sound, appearance, and spelling, to any Netflix brand assets. The Netflix brand assets are provided as is, and Netflix disclaims all express and implied warranties, including warranties of non-infringement. Netflix shall not be liable to you under any theory of liability for any direct, indirect, incidental, special, consequential, punitive, or other damages arising out of Netflix brand assets or your use thereof. This limitation shall apply to you even if Netflix was advised of or should have been aware of the possibility of such damages. Some jurisdictions do not allow certain exclusions or limitations. In such jurisdictions, the exclusions and limitations stated in these terms shall apply to you to the maximum extent permitted by law. Nothing herein grants you any right, title, or interest in or to the Netflix brand assets. Well, let's see here. Now this here part says, all of your uses of the Netflix brand assets in any of your marketing, advertising, content, or other material, your materials, are subject to Netflix's approval prior to use. Approval for such uses must be submitted via a request for approval on the Netflix Partner Portal, a request for approval. Netflix's silence or failure to respond to requests does not constitute approval,
and approval of one of your materials does not constitute approval of your other uses, nor may such approval be transferred to any third party without Netflix's written consent. To the extent Netflix does not provide express approval, you shall not use Netflix brand assets. Netflix's approval of any uses of the Netflix brand assets shall not be construed as approval of your materials for compliance with applicable laws, rules, or regulations, such being your sole responsibility. If you wish to use a Netflix brand asset in any way not permitted under these terms, please submit a request for approval. In your request, describe how and if your use of the Netflix brand assets would deviate from these terms and why such use should be approved by Netflix. Netflix will consider the request, but does not guarantee any particular response time or approval. All uses of the Netflix brand assets must conform to the Netflix brand guidelines, located at https://brand.netflix.com, as well as the following requirements unless you have prior written permission from Netflix. No modification. The Netflix brand assets must be used as provided by Netflix with no modifications. Do not remove, distort, or alter any element of the Netflix brand assets or change any colors. Do not shorten, abbreviate, or create acronyms out of the Netflix brand assets. No generic use. Do not use Netflix brand assets in a way that suggests a common, descriptive, or generic meaning. No plural or possessive use. Do not use Netflix brand assets in the plural or possessive form. No incorporation. Do not incorporate Netflix brand assets into your own product name, service names, trademarks, logos, company names, domain names, website titles, publication titles, or the like, unless expressly permitted by Netflix. No confusingly similar marks. Do not use Netflix brand assets, including any Netflix trademark, in a manner that might create confusion about the ownership of the Netflix brand assets. No confusing source. Do not use Netflix brand assets, including any Netflix trademark, in a manner that implies that Netflix is the source of your products or service, or otherwise might create confusion about the source of the Netflix brand assets. Domain names. Do not register the Netflix brand assets, including any Netflix trademark, as domain names or as any part of a domain name. Trade dress. Do not copy or imitate Netflix's website design, typefaces, distinctive color, style, graphic designs, or imagery. Endorsement. Do not display the Netflix brand assets in any manner that A1 overstates your relationship with Netflix, A2 implies that you have a relationship or affiliation with Netflix, A3 implies you were sponsored or endorsed by Netflix, A4 implies that any content has been authorized by Netflix, or A5 represents the views or opinions of Netflix or Netflix personnel unless you have prior written permission from Netflix to do so. Prominence. Do not display the Netflix brand assets in a manner that makes it the most distinctive or prominent feature on your web page, printed material, or other content without express written permission from Netflix to do so. Violation of law. Do
not display the Netflix brand assets on any website that contains, displays, or promotes pornography or like adult content, or gambling, the sale of tobacco, alcohol, or firearms to persons under 21 years of age. Objectionable use. Do not display the Netflix brand assets in a manner that is misleading, unfair, defamatory, infringing, libelous, disparaging, obscene, or otherwise objectionable to Netflix. Broadcast. The Netflix brand assets may not be used in television, film, or video without Netflix's prior written permission. Please submit a request for approval to use the Netflix brand assets in this manner. Book or other publication titles. The Netflix brand assets may not be displayed in titles of publications, including books, without Netflix's prior written permission. Please submit a request for approval to use the Netflix brand assets in this manner. Merchandise. The Netflix brand assets may not be used or displayed in or on merchandise or manufactured items of any kind without Netflix's prior written permission. Please submit a request for approval to use the Netflix brand assets in this manner.
Now, this here part says Netflix will interpret your compliance with these terms in its sole discretion. Netflix may modify or terminate your permission to display or use the Netflix brand assets at any time. Netflix may take action against any use of the Netflix brand assets that does not comply with these terms or written permission from Netflix, infringes any Netflix-owned or licensed intellectual property or other right, or violates applicable law. General provisions. You may not assign your rights or delegate your obligations under these terms without Netflix's prior written consent. These terms do not create any rights in any third party. These terms will be governed and construed in accordance with the state of California, without regard to conflict of law principles. The venue for any dispute or claim shall be Santa Clara County, California. Neither party shall be deemed to be an employee, agent, partner, or legal representative of the other. Netflix's waiver of breach of any provision of these terms shall not be deemed to be a waiver of the terms themselves. If any provision of these terms is held by a court of competent jurisdiction to be illegal, void, or unenforceable, such provision shall be changed and interpreted so as best to accomplish the objectives of the original provision to the fullest extent allowed by law, and the remaining provisions of these terms shall remain in full force and effect.
Netflix Materials License Agreement. By downloading or otherwise receiving from Netflix the Netflix artwork, images, graphics, photographs, clips, video, audio, text, title art, or other content available on the Netflix brand site at http://brand.netflix.com, the Netflix brand site, collectively the Netflix materials, you agree to be bound by the following terms and conditions, the agreement. You agree to comply with the Netflix brand asset terms and conditions and to the terms set forth on the Netflix brand site. So long as you do so, and provided you are a Netflix partner, Netflix Inc. and its affiliates, Netflix, hereby grants to you a worldwide, non-exclusive, non-transferable, non-assignable, royalty-free, revocable license to use the Netflix materials solely as approved by Netflix for the promotion of Netflix or its programming, including in your Netflix partner promotional materials and co-branded promotional advertising. The Netflix materials are owned by Netflix, its affiliated companies or licensors, and are rights protectable as intellectual property or otherwise. The Netflix materials and all uses thereof shall at all times be and remain the exclusive property of Netflix or its designee. You shall not use the Netflix materials in any manner that is objectionable to Netflix at Netflix's sole discretion. Netflix reserves the right in its sole discretion to terminate or modify your permission to use the Netflix materials and take action against any use that does not conform to the terms of this agreement, infringes any Netflix intellectual property or other right, or violates applicable law. Except as expressly set forth herein, no rights, either by implication, estoppel, or otherwise, are granted to you. Your use of the Netflix materials will inure to the benefit of Netflix. All Netflix materials distributed herein are as is, as available, and with all faults, without warranties, either express or implied, including without limitation warranties of title or implied warranties of merchandising, non-infringement of any third-party right or fitness for a particular purpose, or those arising by statute or otherwise in law, or from a course of dealing or usage of trade. All of your uses of the Netflix materials in any of your marketing, advertising, content, or other materials, your materials, are subject to Netflix's approval before use. Approval for such uses must be submitted via a request for approval on the Netflix brand site, a request for approval. Netflix's silence or failure to respond to requests does not constitute approval, and approval of your materials does not constitute approval of your other uses, nor may such approval be transferred to any third party without Netflix's written consent. To the extent Netflix does not provide express approval, you shall not use Netflix materials. Netflix's approval of any uses of the Netflix materials shall not be construed as approval of your materials for compliance with applicable laws, rules, or regulations, such being your sole responsibility.
Now, this here part says, by downloading the Netflix materials, you represent and warrant that you have the power and authority to enter into this agreement and to perform any obligations hereunder, and that this agreement shall constitute valid and binding obligations of you enforceable in accordance with its terms. You hereby agree to indemnify, hold harmless, and defend Netflix, its parent, subsidiary, and affiliated companies, and each of their respective members, officers, directors, agents, employees, successors, and assignees from any and all claims, demands, losses, suits, judgments, costs, and expenses, including but not limited to reasonable attorney's fees arising out of or in connection with your use of the Netflix materials, and or any breach or alleged breach by you of any of the representations, warranties, and agreements made by you hereunder. You hereby acknowledge and agree that your rights and remedies in connection with this agreement or otherwise shall be limited to the right, if any, to seek damages at law, and you shall have no right in any event, and do hereby waive all such rights, if any,
to seek to enjoin or restrain the production, marketing, advertising, distribution, or exhibition of any productions of Netflix. If any claim is brought by a third party for which a claim of indemnification is or may be provided hereunder, you shall provide prompt written notice to Netflix. In such instance, Netflix shall have the right to control the defense and/or settlement of any claim, provided that the parties cooperate reasonably with each other in the defense of any claim, including making available, under seal if desired and if allowed, all records reasonably necessary to the defense of such claim, and you shall have the right to join and participate, through your own counsel and at your own expense, in Netflix's defense of the claim. The terms of this agreement and your exercise of the rights evidenced hereby are at all times subject to the terms of this agreement. In the event of a conflict between the terms of this agreement and any Netflix partner marketing agreement or other Netflix partner agreement between you and Netflix partner agreement, the terms of the partner agreement shall control, unless the parties agree in writing that they intend this agreement or any provisions herein to supersede or modify any partner agreement or provisions therein. Access and use of the Netflix materials is granted conditioned on your agreement to the terms set forth herein, as if you have signed your agreement.